Hello everybody, Dark Ninja here. Today I'm going to be doing a new kind of video, which I've been thinking about doing for quite a while now. Basically, this new style of video that I want to test out is to take a random person's replay from what replays, and then basically give my analysis of what they could have done better. Is the main goal, or things that they did that were good. So I definitely am gonna want some feedback for this one after you guys watch it through. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a good idea for a series, or what? It won't completely replace my normal videos, but to be honest, I've been slacking with my normal videos, and this will kind of freshen things up. So, yeah, just let me know what you think. So today we're gonna be watching a game in the LTTB, or sorry, the LTG. From Jay Madden's perspective. It's a pretty good game. He uploaded it to What Record, and he's got 2,400 recents, so he's a pretty decent player. 57% recent win rate, and so we're gonna see what he does in this battle, and I'll analyze what I think he could have done better, etc. Okay, so in this battle, Jay Madden finds himself in a Tier 7 matchup, playing against Tier 6s in his LTG. He's got a scouting setup with optics and low noise. Tier 7 light tanks can't mount CVS, Commander's Vision System, so he doesn't have that on. And that's going to influence the way that I would predict that he's going to play this game, or at least that would change how I would be playing this game. Because if you don't have Commander's Vision System, it's much harder to outlight people through bushes on the zero line. Which is usually where light tanks play on this map. So I personally wouldn't even play in the zero line. I usually don't anyways, even in light tanks, because it's simply too risky. Because even if you have CVS, if they have high camo tanks and they just run at you at full speed, you can't escape in time, and you get spotted and deleted basically. So it's just too risky. I usually try to wait until their opposing light tanks die before I try to make my way up the zero line. But he opts to go down the zero line instantly. He's kind of just sitting around in these bushes. Now I'm looking, as you can see, T52 is lit, Setter is lit. That just leaves the AMX 1375. So although I wouldn't have advocated him to play here, because there's too many light tanks, and he doesn't have a Commander's Vision System, I usually would play like in this area and just fight whatever in here, and also spot people who are driving down like this from this mound up here, which will allow people on your zero line to shoot as they come down over here. But he's on the zero line. Now he is top tier, so if anybody comes here, he doesn't really have to be too worried. As long as it's just one tank, he'll be able to fight them off. Right now he's just playing patient. I like how he's playing on this edge bush instead of in these bushes, because it gives him a little bit better view of things that are entering into this bowl here. He's just playing patient. I think it's the correct play not to move up yet, because their 1375 has not been lit yet. It is kind of tempting to just YOLO all the way into here and take these bushes here, which is probably something that I might have done, but it is kind of risky to do that, because you haven't spotted their 1375, and there could be more tanks there with him if the 1375 is on the zero line. So we're kind of just chilling. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, see if something happens. I haven't watched this replay yet. So he might decide to move up here, I'm not sure. Looks like he is. I think I need to fix something. There we go. So he decides to take the bull. He's waited long enough. 1375 doesn't seem to be making his way up. He doesn't get spotted going into the bull, which is really important information. It means that there's no one on these edge bushes over here spotting. Now, like, going into these bushes, I would usually be afraid of something like sitting over here with CVS, but since it's tier 7, there is no CVS, so it's not really a problem. I think now he could safely move up to these bushes here. He knows no one's not there, so he can just go into these bushes and spot from here. I personally think that's fine to do, considering he hasn't been lit yet. He's carefully peeking, and he outlights the serve. Or his teammate does, actually. I would be firing at this guy right now. Not gonna lie. So, there's like, if he just pulls back to here, all of these bushes are gonna be in the way, and he's not gonna get lit. Like, in this bush row is in the way of up here, so it's very unlikely he gets lit, and even if he does, he can just pull back into cover, so I think he should have been firing at this guy already. I know it looks like he's trying to play, like, exclusively as a light tank, but the truth is, in this kind of matchmaking, your gun is very powerful, so, you know, you can, and even if he wasn't top tier, like, using your gun is not a bad decision. Now, he does actually outlight that 1357, which is actually kind of crazy, because that was like 60 meters they were apart there. Or something like that. Now, let me go back 20 seconds. I think what happened is the 1357 was in... I think that there were 2 bushes in between him and the 1375, maybe? Yeah, so if you look right now, if you pause, there's this bush, and then also this bush in between himself and the 1375. If it was just one bush, like, and he was right here, and they were outside of proxy still, he would get lit. But because it's 2 bushes, he outlights the 1375, because the 1375 is on an edge bush. He's just on a singular edge bush. The 1375 could have prevented this from happening by just taking 1 bush back, because you want to have 2 bushes between yourself and whatever you're scouting. So if he was lit just like back here instead of in this forward bush, he would actually not have been lit. But either way, he outlights that guy. That was really good discipline not to fire. I would have been scared. I probably would have fired, to be honest. Especially because there's probably not too much behind this guy. Because as you can see, everybody is spotted except for 2 stag hounds. So there's pretty much nothing else on this flank. In fact, I'm surprised he doesn't just finish that guy off there. He definitely can. If you look at what's spotted on the map, everybody's over here. There's nobody behind this guy, except for maybe 2 stag hounds, which aren't much of a threat. So he should just push this flank right now, to be honest. And there's no reason to go slowly either. Just go forward, take the hit, and then just kill him. But he is deciding to play slow. He's still not using his gun, which is kind of disappointing to me. He could be shooting, like, if he backs up far enough so that there's 2 bushes between himself and the 1375, the 1375 would have to be, like, really close in order to spot him. But if he's, like, anywhere back here, he would not get lit by the 1375 while firing. So, to be honest, he's wasting too much time here. The other reason why it's so important for him to push forward and just start fighting already is because, as you can see, his team is losing. And so they're on a timer here. Like, the longer he just sits around and doesn't clear this flank, the more his teammates on the other side are just getting rolled. So I think that's probably the biggest mistake so far, is just not playing aggressive enough when his team is losing. I can tell that he plays very cautiously in his light tanks. And there's the first shot of the game, which is pretty crazy. I probably would have already just yellowed this guy, killed him, and then gone underneath and fought these stag hounds already. Let's see what he's doing now. It looks like he's clearing the rest of the bush line, but there's no need to do that. Everybody is spotted. Okay, I guess there actually was somebody there, but either way, these are some low tier shitters. I think he could have just driven and killed them. I didn't expect another person to be here, but he must know something I don't, I guess. But now it looks like he has no choice. He has to use his gun now because, you know, there's no one really to spot for. He's got to put out the damage now. And so when you're in a situation like this, if you're going for a victory and not just trying to get out your damage at the end, you want to clear guns as quickly as possible, because not only are you under... Ooh, that's unlucky. Not only are you under cap pressure, which will become a problem later, potentially. Ooh, unlucky. Already just clapped him. But also the longer you give them, the quicker or the slower you take out guns in a situation like this, the more you're going to get surrounded. And it's better to just start fighting them one-on-one before they've already closed in, basically, so that you don't have to fight them all at once. Instead, you can fight them one-on-one, 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 etc. Not the best shot there. Aimed for his side turret rather than his frontal turret there, which caused him to bounce. Dodges the arty. Now here, looking on the minimap, or we can just look over here. This SMV is pretty healthy, but he's concerned about the cap right now. Which I think is probably the correct choice, because this Cheeto SP is going to be sitting up here in these bushes most likely, just covering these guys. So pushing them is not going to be a viable option to win, because they only have 30 seconds left on the cap. He needs to go for the cap now. It's going to be kind of close, but I think he's going to make it with enough time. Nice, smart use of double bushing. Now right here, he's aiming a little bit poorly. When you're aiming at an AT7, there's tracks kind of like this around it. You want to aim for like this flat side, because this is your best shot, or just a little bit higher, because the tracks right here along this line can actually absorb some of the damage. He gets spotted there. I guess because he drove in the open and he had binos or something. I'm not sure. I would have to rewatch that to see exactly what just happened. I'm not sure how he got lit. Looks like he's making his way towards A1. He's got the gold loaded, which is good, because of AT7 is actually a tough nut to crack with just AP. Now I've got the distance mod, so I can see how far they are, which is a pretty nice way to gauge whether you're going to be spotted or not using this mod. So 339, if he has a full camo crew, there's no risk of him getting lit from this distance unless he has binos. So here he's just double bushing, taking them out. Nothing much to say. He focuses down the T150 first, the easier target. I think he should be firing standard ammo right now, though. I think that was a mistake to fire gold, because he's going to need that gold for that AT7 and that SMV. And he only has 5 gold shells left. But this is like a pretty good scenario for him. He just needs to get lucky with his shots, though, because these are not guaranteed shots by any means. He's firing gold at his track. That's another mistake. I think he doesn't realize how few gold shells he has right now. Okay, interesting. He's hiding in a bush as the SMV approaches. I think he's gonna wait for the SMV to be looking. No, he can actually double bush here. Okay, that works. And apparently he can just pin it right in the front, which is not something I expected. I thought that thing actually had way more armor, to be honest. Nice. What's the gold pin on this? I guess I can't see it. I think it's like 217 or 219 or something, but I'm surprised he could pen that. I don't play a lot of low tiers, so... Doesn't even get spotted at the end, which is very crucial. I mean, the AT7 knows that he's up there, but he doesn't bleed any damage for getting spotted or something from the AT7. There's a chance he could have been if he had been lit at the end there. I think he was too close to the SMV, so the SMV just didn't spot him because of a certain mechanic where there's a certain mechanic where if you're close enough to your enemies on the kill shot, they won't spot you because your shell basically kills them before the spotting update comes through on the server. AT7 thinks he's still in A1, so pretty straightforward. He is making a mistake here, though. This bush is not covering the front of his tank, so he should get spotted here. And he does. So that was a mistake right there. There was no real reason to do that, and he pays for it with a shot in return. Alright, but he should be unlit now. Shouldn't get lit from the AT-7 either. Now this M4 A3E2 Sherman, he's a one-shot, which is really good because it means if he surprises him anywhere, then he can actually, as long as he shoots him first, he'll kill him. Gets the artillery. Now I don't think he's a one-shot for the Sherman. I think the Sherman has like 115 alpha or something. I'm not entirely sure, but or 135 at most. So I think the Sherman is not necessarily... I think he can take one from the Sherman is what I'm trying to say. Alright, here he decides to go wide. I think that's okay. He also could have cut across here, and as long as he kept these bushes between him and the Sherman, then he would have been able to just use the bushes. It's a little bit risky in case the Sherman just turned around, but I don't think he would have. Well, he takes the safe route, goes all the way around. Now, there is still an arty alive, which you got to be careful of here, but when you cross this gap, I would not do it at full speed. I think that's a... Okay, I guess he's worried about the cap is the main reason he's doing this, so... Yeah, I didn't realize how low the cap was. This is actually the correct play. Gets a shot into the AT. How much HP is that? 56. Doesn't quite get the Sherman. Unlucky. Already fires. Nice try with the blind there, but didn't quite get him. He can outlight the AT-7 here, but really what you want to be doing is killing this guy if possible. If the AT-7 doesn't give you a shot that you can pen, then you gotta try to kill this guy, because otherwise trying to get an angle on the AT-7 is going to be tricky. He might just have to go for a pen roll or an HE shot. Or just... He might be able to sneak into here, but that's like super risky. Like, he's... Okay, I guess that guy's behind cover. I thought that maybe he could like, you know, see through some gaps in this thing or something, but I guess not. I guess it's just completely blocked. I know that there are gaps in between there, so I'm kind of surprised he's willing to take this risk, but yeah, see, he spots him there. Gets spotted in return as well. That was pretty risky, I feel like. If anything, he could have dropped into the water line and gone into the water to stay low and come over here first and just get close in these bushes and tried to see if he could snipe him. Because you can pen the cupola of this thing with AP. It's just a pen roll though. And if you have to emergency reset, you can always use HE. Takes that guy out. Dodges the arty. Okay, I think he can take a hit from the Sherman, but I'm honestly not sure on the alpha damage. So... But I think he's safe to aim and take a shot. Hits the pillar. And he's just going for it. He's not trying to play any spotting games. Maybe he knows that he can take a hit, which is fine. If it's a guarantee that you can take the hit from this guy, then I don't think there's really anything wrong with just trading a shot and killing him, because you only have 2 minutes 30 seconds left. So I don't necessarily think that was a bad play to go in, even though he could have tried to use his camo to outlight him. Now I think from seeing the arty shots, I think the arty is somewhere over here, but I could be wrong about that. But he does not have much time. I think he should probably load HE, because I think this thing gets good enough HE that you can potentially one-shot him with HE. But it's not a big deal if he doesn't. It's not like the most crucial thing. And I might even be wrong about that, but he's looking over here. The arty's definitely not over here. He was somewhere over here. So that's another mistake, but... Driving through the cap circle. I guess he's just trying to cap in time. Oh, he cut that close, man. But the arty gets spotted, which is nice. I probably, since I'm a greedy damage farmer, it didn't even cross my mind that he could cap. Didn't even cross my mind. I was just thinking like, when he's gonna go kill the arty, right? But no, yeah, he caps, And there we go. He gets 10 kills in a nice Kolobanovs metal Kolobanovs. So yeah, pretty good game. I think the main thing that I would say he did wrong in this replay was towards the start of the battle. He did not play aggressively enough, in my opinion. When everything was spotted, he could have seen that he had an opportunity to just fight the enemies basically before his whole team died. And honestly, if he had done that, then this game wouldn't have even been as close. Like, he wouldn't have needed to carry and get a Kolobanovs medal, because he would have cleaned up that flank so much quicker. But either way, still well done. Gets a defender medal, Top Gun, crucial contribution. He was in a platoon after all. Kolobanovs, Scoochies, and Pools medal, which is pretty dank. And gets 1700 base XP. Made some credits as well. Alright, that's it for the first episode. Let me know what you guys think about this. Wasn't as much to analyze in this game as I thought there would be, but still some key things to take away from it, I think. Alright, goodbye.